Hey everyone, this is Sunny Justice with It's a Criming Shame. Now, of course, before we get started into this video, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please consider subscribing and give this video a like and a share. Now, this is going to be in conjunction with the last video that I just put out in regards to if Nicola Bulley perhaps was not floating to the surface and not on the bottom, but was deemed as floating in the middle in a sense, because of the clothing that she had, which would create buoyancy. So as we know, most people that watch these videos are not dive experts, they're not search and rescue experts, and that's what we look to those people for their expert advice. So in this video, we're going to be talking about Peter Falding. We're going to be talking about some search and rescue teams that have had national attention. And we're going to talk about the Kylie Rodney case. Now, this is just one example of many cases that this has happened with. So again, this is about thoughts and food for thought. Now, Kylie Rodney's case was a huge case out of the US, okay? And it wasn't that long ago. It was like last year that Kylie Rodney was camping at a party and she was nowhere to be found. Nobody knew what happened to her. And so, of course, the police sent their teams and some marine teams into the water, into Prosser Lake, to find Kylie Rodney, and as long as some surrounding other lakes in the area. Now, of course, at the time, Adventures with Purpose, had been called up there to go help. And so Ventures with Purpose, didn't want to just take the word that that lake had been cleared, meaning Prosser. So they wanted to do their own search. So I'm going to let you listen to the video quickly of exactly what transpired.
According to the Nevada County Sheriff's Office, several Marine teams helped in the search, including crews from Alameda County.
The reality is it's not that simple. It is pretty complex and it's tough. So again, we're just appreciative that the resources came out and were able to help us in locating it.
Officials said the car recovered is in fact the car they have been looking for, but stopped short of confirming the body is that of Kylie Rodney. Law enforcement faced several questions on why AWP could find the car much quicker than law enforcement.
I'll have to debrief with them to figure out what equipment exactly they use to see if it's items that we have or if it's a matter of training with the items that we have. So until we talk to them and know exactly what they used and how they went about it, I wouldn't be able to answer that correctly.
Our unique skill set is rare, and it is an honor to help agencies and families all across the nation.
Nick Rinn and Doug Bishop are the faces of Adventure with Purpose, a YouTube channel specializing in using sonar technology to crack missing person cases. They brought their resources to Truckee, hoping to find Kylie Rodney, a 16-year-old girl last seen leaving a party near the Prosser family campground.
We began our search for Kylie at Prosser Creek Reservoir on August 21st at 10:40 a.m. We placed 2 sonar boats in the water. By 11:15 a.m., Nick detected an object underwater using cutting-edge Garmin sonar technology. I was able to then confirm that it was, in fact, a vehicle in roughly 14 feet of water and only 55 feet offshore.
That car, a light silver Honda CR-V, pulled from the lake over the weekend.
Now, as you can see, there's the land there, and of course the vehicle is being pulled out from 13 feet of water. And granted, it was 3 feet higher when the original search began before AWP had gotten there. But this lake, Prosser Lake, was cleared by the police and the marine teams that had helped. So AWP, of course, not wanting to take their word for it because they like to do their own work, said, no, we're going to check this lake ourselves. And then once we've cleared it, then we feel like we've done our job. Now, again, as you can see where the land is to where the vehicle is, that is not very far off of the shore. But yet, everyone seemed to have missed exactly where Kylie Rodney's vehicle was. AWP, they do this for a living. The police and the Marine, they don't go searching for bodies every single day. They only go out when they are called and need to assist in that. Unlike the search teams, that they do this for a living every single day, pretty much, as they're looking for the missing people that they're trying to help the families for, usually of old cases, and they don't typically had taken on cases that are fresh and newer. But they had gone up there at the request, and AWP had found them within 30 minutes of searching that lake. Now, search teams like that of Peter Falding specifically do this for a living. And this is their job, and hence why their equipment is probably quite different and quite more advanced than that of the police or the Marines that just do this as these cases arise and not do it specifically for a living every single day. So this, even though this is a vehicle, okay, now these search teams can search more than just a car, even though cars, finding people that usually have had someone go missing, a loved one go missing, usually, of course, ends up with it being a vehicle involved. But listen to when Doug's talking here.
Can you walk us through what the sonar does? So how does it work? You go into the water, you use this sonar device. How does it detect? Does it just detect vehicles? Does it detect people? How does it work?
Yeah, it can detect people. It can detect, everything pretty much, other than very small objects, say like a cell phone or, but other than that, we can detect almost anything underwater. And what we're doing is we're using a down imaging, a side scan, and a live scope sonar. These are three systems that we will essentially put together in order to manipulate the image of what it is we're trying to find underwater. And then secondly, we're divers. So when we do find something that is, of interest to us that we think may be a vehicle, for instance, we're able to dive on those and rule them out.
Okay, so let's go back to what the expert Peter Falding had to say about the search.
Thank you for joining us again. I have so much I want to say to you. The first thing is this. You told me last week you searched that river high and low. You, on my show, ruled out that Nicola was in that river, the River Wye. Why is it that tonight we still hear, allegedly, that Lancashire police still believe that's their main thought, if you want? I don't understand that, and neither does the public, Peter.
Well, Jeremy, if I'd known this information on day one, I've worked on complex murders and cases, missing people since 1999. If I'd been given that information, and I am trusted, that wouldn't have been handed to the media, it would have been confidential, and I would have changed my whole search strategy. I assumed, Jeremy, that Nicola had slipped into the river, and it's only 2 foot deep at the bottom of the bank, and that's why I've been so adamant that she's not in that part of the river. We've thoroughly searched it. If she had jumped in or intended to take her own life or walked off or wherever she is, that would change my whole plan. She could have ended up in the sea. But everything, it's awful. This is an awful case, and I just wish it had been handled a lot better in the first place by giving certain information that would have helped us target our search in specific areas.
And from all my experience of averaging 10 drowning victims a year, about 6 suicides, where they go down. And that's fact. They don't drift unless it's a really, really heavy flooded river when they will move down. But it was not at the time, and that was confirmed by the family.
Now listen to what Peter Falding says here about the undergrowth.
It should have been the immediate area searched extremely thoroughly. I was up there the other day after 10 days, as you know, and the undergrowth had not been beaten down. Normally, when you search, all the undergrowth gets beaten down. It gets trimmed back for any signs of evidence. There actually was no sign of evidence of any really in-depth land search that had taken place around that particular area.
So at the end of the day, usually a lot of times what it will boil down to is that the police just don't have the advanced sonar equipment that a lot of these search and rescue teams do. Now, I absolutely agree with Peter Falding and the fact that he should have been told of Nicola Bulley's high risk assessment, which would have given him the opportunity to then adjust exactly where he would be searching. And again, talking about the undergrowth, how normally that would have been smacked down But he arrived 10 days later, and to find that it really wasn't smack down like when you typically do a search. Now, in the Kylie Rodney case, obviously they cleared it. The police, the Marines had cleared that area, but AWP, Adventures with Purpose, decided no, we're going to check it ourselves, clear it ourselves. That way we will feel confident that we have done our job. And of course, they were able to find her. We still don't really know the answer for Nicola Bulley and exactly what happened to her. Did she slip and fall? Did she jump in? Who knows? We know for a fact that none of the equipment and none of the searchers were able to find Nicola Bulley during this time. But what I personally feel myself is this. Regardless if their equipment wasn't advanced enough, each person out there was dedicated to trying to find Nicola Bulley, even though there was a vast amount of mistakes. Now, I personally love watching search and rescue and bringing families some peace to a missing loved one. So if you guys are interested at all in watching any of those shows, in the US, there's a ton of these cases that go on with great results for the families. So if you guys love watching shows or channels that impact families and help families get closure, then these two channels that I'm going to recommend, the first being Doug Bishop and the next one being that Chaos Divers. Okay, so these are two great channels that have such great, beautiful hearts, and the people that are helping them, and they're doing things for the right reasons. So it is so heartwarming to know that there's people out there that want to help families, especially in the old cases where their family has gone missing and it's to do with something in the water, because that's specifically what they work on. And that they help bring closure to not only to the victim that's missing, but to the families, of course, that are missing their loved one and have no idea what happened to them. So in the links, of course, in the description of this video, you will find Doug Bishop's channel, and you're going to find Chaos Divers channel. Please check them out. They are well worth watching. Thank you guys so much for watching this video with me. Please give your thoughts and comments in the comments section of this video. At the end of the day, it just becomes about answers, and truthful answers, and knowing exactly what happened to Nicola Bulley. May Nicola Bulley rest in peace. And I'm glad that the family has closure to at least knowing that Nicola Bulley was found. Unlike so many families out there. Now, I just released a video with Reese Roger. Again, I'm just going to ask you guys so much if I could use your help in helping, giving that video a like and a share, so that another person can hopefully be found and closure brought to the family. You guys have a blessed day. And of course, don't forget, on tonight's live, it's a membership live only. If you wish to become a member of the It's a Crime and Shame channel, just go to the description of this video or click on the join button for membership. It's $1.99 a month if you choose to join. You guys have a blessed day. Take care. And again, leave your comments below.